running low. A couple of years ago, I saw that movie Jumanji. Remember that? All the people running around, screaming, chased by monsters, can't get out. I feel like that's exactly what happened to me. That's how I feel about Patriot Radio and Fox TV now. They filled my head with all these wild ideas, and everything felt bad all the time. I felt surrounded by my enemies. At times I was scared. I was always angry, sometimes sick to my stomach. I wanted to fight. I woke up at night, arguing with the family, bickering with guys at work, started drinking more. Guess I'm still working on that. Even the fun times, like we're out in the boat and then somebody will start ragging about vaccines. The next thing you know, we're all pretty soon bitching and pissing and moaning instead of having fun, and it's a drag all the time. It's always there. Of course, at holidays, both sides of all the issues, it just gets really negative. Vodka's cheaper than gasoline now. So I need to get out of that. I need to get away. It was eating me alive. And so I did. I'm out of the echo chamber. So you're probably wondering, well, then why are you still blabbing about politics? Well, the difference is now I can turn it off. Without the radio and TV pounding in my head, I can sleep better. I go whole days at a time without getting angry, and I'll tell you, that never happened before. From out here, freedom, I can really see how it controlled me. It took over my head. My mind was theirs. That's another reason why I make these videos. I hope, other people will see this and escape. Did you know there are 1,200 radio stations broadcasting Patriot content nationwide? It's another one of the billionaires' many monopolies, their profit centers. And why do you think they needed 1,200 channels beating this message into our brains? Ha! Money! Yeah, they make money, mountains of it, off us by making us feel like shit all the time. It's a scam. They get our vote. Our real enemy makes trillions. So a few years ago, I was vacationing on the Gulf Coast. In one spot, I got 5 channels with Rush Limbaugh playing all the same thing. 2 in Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. And we're saturated with that bullshit. Before Limbaugh died, he was making $85 million a year. So why do you think they were paying him more than any athlete, more than any movie star? Because delivering our votes to the billionaires is worth trillions to them. Money, it's the only issue. The best payoff of any investment of our oligarchs is media propaganda. Tricking the average folks into voting for billionaires. They get 2,000 times their money off that investment. You name me something else that pays like that. Our real enemy knows there's only one issue, money. They know everything else is bullshit. We don't. We're paralyzed with all the fear they feed us. And I've been there. That's why we call it the money party. Let me give you an example. So the drug OxyContin, you've heard of it, and now fentanyl, killing 70,000 Americans a year. The FBI moved in to stop them. The corporations that made those drugs complained to Congress, hey, help. So they're bought off congressmen, pulled strings, and forced the FBI to stop investigating. So how is that possible? Murderers controlling our law enforcement. We as conservatives, we voted for those congressmen. But do you think they'd pick up the phone if we called? Hell no. Republican congressmen answer only to the billionaires who pay for their campaigns. The corporate money that pours in, they're owned. It's third world corruption. This is not a democracy anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. And of course, without democracy, what happens? We, the people, the working people, starve. Look at this. In the paper, Rudy Giuliani was hired by the OxyContin company, Purdue Pharma, hired him, Donald Trump's lawyer, to head off a federal investigation into the company's marketing of the powerful prescription painkiller at the center of this epidemic that's claiming hundreds of thousands of lives. I think over 300,000 now. That's a perfect example of how the rich use the government. You got that, libertarians? The rich use the big government, and they fight like mad dogs, to protect their money while we die. Just like I've been telling you all along. The government works for them. Big government. So here's the short version. Billionaires buy radio TV channels, Hannity and such, and they lie, fooling us into voting for billionaire-owned candidates. Then the Republicans win Congress and quietly change all the laws and regulations to make them trillions. And you get poorer. And again, no, I'm not saying vote for Democrats. I have to keep telling you that. They're worthless. They're like just Republican light garbage. The rich are getting rich faster, and we never get ahead. The Congress we vote for doesn't work for us. You can't name a thing that they've done to make our life better. So you might answer to me, it's not Congress's job to make your life better. You're an American. Work your way up. Doesn't work that way. Bullshit. Congress works their asses off, the government, to make the lives of the rich, the super rich, much, much better. I just told you a perfect example of how Congress called off the cops as the rich killed 70,000 Americans with fentanyl and made billions in profits. OxyContin. The government works for them. Works very, very hard for them. The billionaires love strong government and use it to keep the common people down and out of their way. That's what's happening. So, getting back to TV, radio, and Facebook, have you noticed how they constantly shift what we're supposed to be mad about? Like, every week, there's a new monster. Just like the Jumanji movie. It'll never end if you stay in their movie. It takes years off your life. That's a lot of stress. It causes cancer, causes heart attacks, depression, suicide, divorce. It's bad. Horrible! Well, they got a new monster this week. That's why I brought it up. The new monster I just saw on TV is Ukraine, supposed to be making the virus in laboratories, and Fauci's over there with the Ukrainians, and Putin's going in to save us all. That's why he invaded Ukraine, they say. Isn't that interesting how exactly when Ukraine jumps into the news, all of a sudden the virus came from there, not China anymore. So Russia attacks, and we've never heard a peep about it before, but now it's Ukraine and the virus. Isn't it pretty obvious? They just make it up as they go along. That's our billionaire radio jumping in to help their fellow oligarch, Putin. He's crashing a democracy over there while ours is rolling over and dying here. Don't give your vote to the real enemy of average people. So that's it for today, people. Please subscribe to get these upcoming videos. Conditions are changing fast. Tune in here to keep up. Click like below to spread the word. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Paul for the Money Party. And as always, we take the Money Party pledge. Just like the billionaires, I only vote for money for me. If you lie, I vow to wreck your next campaign.